document being laid before Parliament, the political leadership or the political opposition was surprised and engaged by him personally as President of the Republic or his Minister for Interior or Defense for that matter. I'm not aware. I can indicate an indication that the Americans have brought something we are considering, but a thorough engagement with the political opposition in order to get it bipartisan as part of the pursuit of our foreign policy. He should accept responsibility that he failed in that particular
So there was no
enterprise.
bipartisan consultations?
I'm not aware, apart from when this instrument was laid in Parliament, formally, that I had the opportunity to go through it. I'm not aware of any meeting at the level of the presidency or at the level of the Ministry of Defense or Interior or Combined or National Security to have engaged the NDC minority or the political opposition. He has the responsibility to have built the bipartisan strategy and bipartisan acceptance of this. I think he should accept responsibility.
Be that as it may, he brought it to Parliament.
Yes, and I'll come to that. And it's revealing. Joy FM, you must go back and praise yourself as I joined to praise you. As early as Monday, even before the document was laid before Parliament, Joy FM already had copies of the document. You certainly didn't get it from the opposition or the NDC. You got it from your own sources. So for anybody to accuse the NDC of a leakage, that is palpable, unacceptable. I mean, I respect the president, so I can't use very strong words. But essentially, a document which is available to the media on Monday is laid in Parliament on Tuesday, Wednesday, and MPs are blamed for leaking the same document. That the truth, to quote him, is sacrosanct. Let us establish the truth in this matter. You are aware that Joy FM, you had indication, the full document, and even played excerpts of it before it got to Parliament. Therefore, we will not accept that charge.
Okay.
The third charge is to, and it's regrettable, stereotyping, to use the comment of one member of the NDC to which the party itself have officially, through the General Secretary, Johnson Asedi Nketia, dissociated himself to condemn the NDC as if we are plotting to overthrow the government. Let me give the President a firm assurance that we will support him to deepen our democratic values and ethos, to deepen our democratic institutions, and to endure our democracy. But he must be open to accept some criticisms of it. What we have said about this document, Araba, you have heard them make, you heard the president make reference to 2015 agreement,
yes,
signed
1998.
by 1998.
Right.
Just take it easy, and then I engage you as a media so that you can thoroughly pursue this matter. At least today, Araba, sitting here as a journalist, you have a document you can refer to signed in 2015 by Hannah Tete. Can you give me a document signed by the foreign minister under Nana Addo Dankwa, or a document signed by Nana Addo Dankwa as the president of the republic, or a document signed by the minister for defense that I can say this is a document that tomorrow, 10, 20 years, Ghanaian children can refer to it and say this was signed by Minister Nituwol.
Is that
or
not
Minister
the document
Mbuzeli.
that came before
If you
Parliament?
have it signed, give me a copy.
I don't have
a signed copy. And that leads to the position of the minority. And I like to state it. We objected to our governance processes in Ghana. Nana Addo Dankwa, he knows I have enormous respect for him. He's been foreign minister, he's president of the republic. He's a trained legal practitioner, and he knows the law. I respect his knowledge of the law. But on this one, he got it wrong, and he has to be advised properly, and we will help him with the advice.
How did he get it wrong?
Article 75 states that, and if you want to quote verbatim, the treaty that the president or on his behalf shall enter into a treaty, convention, or agreement. Then 75(2) says that the treaty, convention, and agreement signed shall be laid before Parliament, and Parliament is given two opportunities. One, by a resolution, which is a B, and two, by an act of Parliament. So, Araba, if you laid this instrument, you could have come in the form of a bill, which will give Parliament the opportunity to add or subtract. But if you come under a resolution, we have no addition or subtraction to it, and therefore we raise the constitutionality of the governance process, because the document before us is not signed. And I'm challenging the president challenging his Minister for Defense, his Minister for Interior, his Minister for National Security. This international law, parties to this international agreement are the government of the United States, represented by who? You know who represents the U.S. in this agreement? Tell me. And then the government of Ghana, represented by who? I heard a Minister for Interior argue that
the document came before the House.
Good. And a document must come signed. This one, you are seeing Hannah Tete's signature. And
so you're telling me that the document that came before the House did not have any signature? And
the Constitution in the Article 75 says the document executed. Read the Guatemala Bay ruling of the Supreme Court that the executive, having executed the agreement, shall lay same before Parliament. So we are saying that lay before us a signed document. Now, if you hear a minister argue that cabinet referred it, cabinet is 21 members. Who do we hold responsible? Are you saying that the U.S. cabinet also represented the government of the United States? That's laughable. I mean, an agreement of this nature must be executed. Show me, you are a journalist high standing. Joy FM will respect you. The document you are playing excerpts. Where is the executed document? And as a student of law, ratification is where you exercise an act without authority and take steps to ratify it. So it means that under the Constitution, Article 75 gives Parliament the power to ratify. So we are simply saying that if they had come with in the form of a bill, which they have done to a very recent international agreement they signed with the OEC, you can check the standard for automation of taxation. Similar, it came to us as a bill, not as a memorandum. And Araba, if you go to 2015, and I'm quoting the president, this agreement we are signing in the year of our Lord 2018 is not same as what was signed in 1998 or 2015. And I just give you an example. Go to page 4 of the agreement which was signed in 2015, and I'm quoting for you. The following items are not eligible for transfer under this agreement and are specifically excluded from its coverage. It provided for exemptions, and the exemptions included: 1, weapon systems, major end items of equipment, except for the lease or loan of general purpose vehicles, initial quantities of replacement of spare parts, but more importantly, guided missiles, naval mines and torpedoes, nuclear ammunition, guidance kit for bombs and other ammunition, chemical munitions and ammunition were exempt. Now you now have an agreement where we do not have any indication of what will operate as exemptions. We worry, and we worry about its potential risks to the country and its citizens, and its futuristic. We're not talking about today. We cherish the relationship with the United States, and I stated same. Even on the floor of Parliament, I indicated that we cherish the strong bilateral relationship that the government of Ghana has with the government of the United States. In terms of good governance, they are respected. But that is not to say that there are no abuses in the United States
Honorable,
of America.
were these issues, concerns raised by your members of the minority on the Interior and Defense Committee when this matter came to them?
Yes. They raised it, and I'm saying as minority leader, you have Parliament is a meeting of record. You have my arguments on this matter. And for instance, Araba, we worry about an Article 18, which operates as what we call in constitutional law, ouster clauses. We are austering the jurisdiction of our court and that of the international court.
Honorable, I asked that because what we were made to understand was that the minority and the NDC were opposed specifically to the suggestion that there will be a military base established in the country.
I'll come to that.
He has answered that directly and said there is no base.
I've read U.S. military strategy, and these bases are satellite bases which are called the lily pads. This agreement will facilitate the establishment of lily pads in Ghana. You know lily pads, look the octopus or crab. You understand what I mean by, even it's an American terminology. Now, let it be said that no one in the NDC is promoting anti-American sentiment. Government must accept responsibility of not engaging thoroughly with the stakeholders, including the political opposition.
When you say people are not engaging in anti-American
I mean, you hear
rhetoric,
the words the president is saying, hypocrisy, as if what was signed in 1998.
But there were some members of your party who went on the streets complaining and accusing the government of selling off the country to the US.
Even on the streets of America, people not protesting. That's the beauty of democracy.
So we shouldn't take them seriously.
Have room for it. What do you mean by not take them serious, Araba? Please.
No.
Please. In a political democracy, you must have room for dissent. Okay. We have raised matters with borders on governance, with borders on constitutionality. And I'm challenging President Nana Addo Dankwa, the Minister for Defense, the Minister for Interior, to make public a signed document, an executed document. Not a document you laid in Parliament, no signature. You are happy to refer to Hannah Tete in 2015. Let Ghanaians in 2023 or 2050 be happy to refer to an agreement that was so-called signed. And I'm saying that in this agreement, there were exemptions. And I'm saying that a similar agreement, we have what we call the status of forces agreement. Those were temporary and specific. Right. Like you want them to help you fight Boko Haram. You want to use Ghana as a base. You enter into some negotiations with the US government. This is not the same. For instance, in this agreement, we have to construct a runway that suits the American purpose. We have to give them a radio frequency. The last frequency we sold in Ghana was worth about $67 million US. If it's on 4G, the world have moved towards a 5G technology. What radio frequency? What is the value of it? Now they want it for free. If you brought it to Parliament, the minority say no, let's get back to the Americans and renegotiate this. What is wrong with that? Is that hypocrisy? Is that an attempt to overthrow a government? No. President Nana Addo Dankwa should have engaged. He lost a fine, golden, glorious opportunity. He can reach out to me, I can reach out to him, and I think that essentially we could have done this. What we are saying is that whatever agreement was brought, Parliament can improve it just as the U.S. Congress will do in their best national interest and in their best sovereign interest. So if you have a statement to the effect that the government of Ghana is getting $20 million from this, why wouldn't people go into a conclusion that the sovereignty is for $20 million US? We are worth more than that. Okay. Now that is the benefit to the America. Let the president and his ministers tell me, what is the benefit of this agreement to the people of Ghana? I understand his quest to have our collective efforts to fight terrorism. For instance, globally,
in fact, he says the threat has increased. The Ghanaian military, he says the threat has increased, hence the need for this particular cooperation.
You respect the Ghanaian military for peacekeeping. Global, we are champions. The Americans are champions in peace enforcement. But when it comes to peacekeeping, we have a pride as a country. And I had suggested publicly, Araba, go back to your radio Joy FM discussion. I said, subject this document to former chief of defense staffs. I was hinting the president how he could resolve this in a bipartisan manner. Because the military in Ghana remains one fine professional institutions where they work to detail on matters that borders on our territorial integrity. That if you know that it was respected, it was a suggestion from the minority. I said it publicly, even on the floor of Parliament. Let them go through it. Even if you want to color them, which is impossible, they would have given you their view as to what.
So that window of opportunity has passed. So you're now challenging the president to make available the document.
A signed document.
The signed document.
Executed document as required of him under Article 75. And then to use
what would that prove?
And then to use words like leakage, Joy FM. Who leaked the document to Joy FM? Go public. Joy, tell us how you got your document, because you got it earlier.
Our sources.
But you got it earlier than me, even as member of Parliament. And yet I'm being accused of being responsible for the leakage. But I do agree with the president that we ought to handle these matters with some circumspection. But the opportunity to engage, the opportunity to consult thoroughly, and have results which is bipartisan. The opportunity was that of Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo.
That opportunity
so
has elapsed.
There are portions of it, like 2015, 1998. I can read to you U.S. military personnel and civilian employed of the U.S. Department of Defense who may be temporarily present in Ghana. So temporary. Now you have one which looks like perpetuity. And Parliament could have an opportunity to say that maybe every 10 years, every 5 years, based on the terrorism threat, let's do an assessment and a review of it and improve upon it. Now, once we come to a resolution,
what will bring in the document, a signed document? We do not
have an opportunity.
What will bring in the signed document change?
No, then, Araba, I believe that you are listening to me. I said Article 75 gives the president 2 opportunities. Come through a bill that is an act of parliament. That gives parliament an opportunity to add or subtract. You've been a parliamentary correspondent. We say delete, improve this. Now, if you come as a resolution in a memorandum, our hands are tied. We just simply will not be able to add or make any addition. So let me assure the president that the NDC party and the NDC minority remains resolutely committed to Ghana's democratic practice. Indeed, we take pride that the NDC laid the foundation for multi-party constitutional democracy 25 years ago that we are celebrating. And we will not. There's an opportunity at political accountability. He is accountable to the people of Ghana in the next 3 years. We will appreciate and evaluate him on the basis of it. So to use hypocrisy, no. Frontline leakage, no. Then Joy FM, you must explain to the president where you got your leakage from. We are not responsible and would not accept
You're not obligated
that particular
to disclose our sources.
But at least you got it earlier than even Parliament. That is revealing and very intriguing, and that's quite significant. So there is no anti-American sentiment, not at all, within the NDC. Okay. We all cherish the U.S. as a global police, and therefore, but that is not to say that there are no infractions of fundamental human rights in the U.S. Read the even establishment of Get More Base and its closure. It had to do with abuses of rights. U.S. Congress of George Bush, then to Obama, we are saying that, Mr. President, safeguard the future interests of Ghana in this agreement. That is all we ask for, not an attempt to overthrow or overthrow.
All right, very well. Many thanks for your time. I'm very grateful for your time. So that's the Honourable Minority Leader Haruna Iddrissu there responding to some of the accusations and concerns raised by the President as he addressed those concerns that have come up as a result of Ghana signing onto the Ghana-US military cooperation agreement.